Welcome back to another MTGO Modern League with me, Magix, and as you can see I have made some changes to the last Grixis deck where we played Kroxa, the new Rakdos Titan, and this time we are trying a build with JVP here. So, let's talk about it and go go go!
Push the goddamn button!
You heard what she said.
So here we go, let's quickly talk about the deck. Why JVP? Well, I figured it is Snapcaster 5 to 6, so to say. That also helps us to cycle a little bit through our deck, exchange the rather bad cards in a matchup for a better card, also to find some land drops or cycle away dead land drops or unnecessary land drops, of course. Another thing this allows us is to ease the mana base a little bit, because we have less color requirements now. We are more heavily on the blue part of the deck and less about the Rakdos colors, despite K-Command and Terminate. And yeah, if we look at Kroxa, I mean, it was black, black, red, red if you actually want to cast him turn 4. And I had several problems with this if I wanted to get the Cryptic online too. So maybe you can do this more consistently in reworking the mana base, and then you probably cut all these Mystic Sanctuaries and include more black, red, colored sources. But I still think Cryptic is very nice in the deck, especially with the Sanctuary, because it is a way to lock up matchups like Bogles or Dredge that mostly rely on the combat phase to deal the damage needed to, in case of Dredge, burn you out. And repeatedly tapping and bouncing the Mystic Sanctuary allows for buying a lot of time. It's still very flexible, of course, and the bounce is an answer to literally everything. So still like the Cryptics, could make an argument that maybe 3 is enough. But let's still run 4, so we have our 8 commands here. I was a huge fan of these flyers actually. They provided a good clock alongside Snapcaster Mage, Lightning Bolt and the shock of the K-Command. And yeah, we won several games where we simply played out a flash flyer and tried to stall for some time. So this was definitely nice. We have included the second Mystic Sanctuary instead of the Graven cards from the other list to have to put these high-powered spells back on top. And we have exchanged the Sword Scours for Opt. Opt gives a little bit more selection. We don't need the self-mill as much, even though it would be nice with the Jace. I think we still have enough stuff to do in the early turns that Jace will flip sooner or later. We are not in a hurry with this deck, so I figured it's fine. Well, if the Jace dies, he dies. The Kroxa at least would have given a discard effect, but yeah, we have to see how it works. At least it puts also a good target for the K-Command in the graveyard, and it's cheap, so you can figure a good spot in the curve to pump it out again. And if it sticks and flips, well, you get more Snapcaster activations here. That's always nice. Can shrink something, maybe alongside Liliana. Yeah, -4, -1 is a lot. If they can work together, and the ultimate will win the game eventually. If nothing else, well, it fuels Drown in the Loch. But let's see how it goes. The only thing I really fear is that we are missing some form of pressure now, and we don't have that much good blockers, to be honest. The other thing I have changed, well, we have now 2 Archmage's Charms in the main deck, since we are so heavy blue focused anyways. Yeah, I figure we can also try to run this Archmage Charm. It can snack like an Ether Vial or maybe even a Goblin Guide, so it can also be a form of removal against decks that rely heavily on 1-mana drops. But it is also, if nothing else, a cancel, or if it's dead against like a Cavern of Souls, then you can always cycle it And if you then Snapcaster it back or maybe put it back on top with the Sanctuary, this is a lot of card advantage. So between all of these heavy blue cards, the K command and the Snapcaster effects, and the Liliana, we already have a lot of card advantage in the deck. We should be able to grind quite well. The curve is rather 2 and 3 mana heavy, which means we only need really 3 lands to get going. This is why I think 22 with the opts should be fine. It was fine most in the other games. There were a few games where we stumbled on 2 lands, but we didn't find the third land in, what was it, like 16 cards down. So I think that will happen to any deck. I mean, Burn usually runs around 20, and they also consistently are getting to 3 lands. So I think that 22 with 4 cantrips is enough. Could be an argument that you actually want the 23rd land next, but yeah. There were enough games where we were flooding also a lot or heavily, where we started with 4 lands and drawing up to the 10th land drop in the following turns, so that was also insane. It's more like the variance that Magic already has, right? In regards to the sideboard, I definitely wanted to include the second Liliana, the Last Hope. I liked her a lot in the last leagues we have played. She had a lot of relevant stuff to do. It was a nice win condition with her ultimate that actually stole quite a few games. That's the main reason why I play her right now over Plague Engineer, actually. Because there were a lot of grindy matchups, and in this case Liliana seems a little bit better than the simple creature. We still have 4 hate cards against the Titan decks, or big mana decks. We don't have the Alpine Moon right now. I needed some stuff, some free slots, because I wanted to fit in 2 Collective Brutalities. It seems like Prowess and Burn are still the most played decks, even after now nearly a week post-Oko ban. So I want to amp up my hate against the aggro decks with this black heavy stuff. That's also why we've cut the 4th Jix-Lit Jailer. We never faced a graveyard deck actually, so let's try to gamble on that too. I mean, if you don't respect Dredge whatsoever, these 3 slots could also be going to the big mana matchup or more in the grindy direction, right? It's always a matter how much you respect the Dredge deck, and if you say, okay, come on, we lose this matchup if we face it. That's literally the only matchup where you really want to bring in the Jix-Lit Jailer and try to push up everything else, right? This could be a totally valid way of direction to go that I can also see. And here in the last slot we have Dispel and Flusterstorm. The reasoning is still the same. I wanted answers against Veil of Summer. Usually the decks that have Veil of Summer also use like Pact of Negation and Summoner's Pact, because this would be the Titan decks. So this spell is nice there, because you can also counter the Pact. It's good in the control mirrors, because it's a 1 mana counter. Unfortunately, it can't counter Planeswalkers or any other stuff that you could counter with a negate effect. So I'm hoping to catch it with our cheaper counter spell in the early game, or then with the more heavy focused counters down the line, or even bounce it with a Brazzen Burrower and try it then to untap with some of these counters, and or even with a discard and try to take it that way. Flusterstorm is now mainly there as a hedge against the Storm deck, because there are quite some Storm lists placing right now. We have already used it in the Storm matchup. I think we played like 2 leagues ago. It has won this matchup, and it's also nice against Veil of Summer, and probably always good if there is something like a counter war. Maybe this is too cute and you actually want to negate effects here because they catch more, like also Planeswalkers or even Spell Pierce to catch everything for 1 mana instead of 2, so these are more experimental, I feel like. Then again, if you face a Titan deck and want to dispel like Pact, because you know that they don't have a Titan in hand and they can't do much unless they have the Titan, then Dispel is definitely better than trying to tax their 6 lands, right? So yes, you can stall then for 1 turn, but this deck rarely gets something out of just stalling. You need to get to a board position where you can lock up the game with your commands, either forcing them in a top deck mode and making them discard in the draw step with K Command and Snapcaster Chains, or yeah, locking up their plays with several Cryptic Commands or hard counters. So anyways, enough talking, let's go to the action and let's see how it goes. Always searching, yeah. We have used up our play points in the last league, but we have made several winnings all in all, because also our Pioneer leagues went very well, though I still have a reserve now. And let's hope to get at least 3 wins and learn a little bit more how Grixis is positioned right now. Of course, you could say in the first league with Kroxa, it was okay. It was a 4-1. We nearly made a 5-0, where we instead lost to Eldrazi-Tron 1-2. It was a very close game, actually, where we also draw a few lands too much. I think up to 7 land drops or what have you, where we drew 2 lands in a row, where we needed any action whatsoever to have something going for us or to answer the next play. It didn't work out, but it was rather close. And in the last league, we had actually issues with also lands, either drawing too much or not drawing enough in the first few turns, because Sword Scour is always a gamble, I guess. And yeah, but there were also a lot of close games, if I remember correctly. There were a lot of 1-2s, so it always then comes down to the third match. And actually, post-board, the deck should be better positioned because you get more focused answers to the strategy of the opponent, but didn't work out. Maybe kind of unlucky. And maybe it's still fine to run the Kroxa list we have there. But I want to try out this JVP because I have also seen on God's Shadow channel that he has made a 5-0 with it. So let's try to compare the lists and see in the spots of JVP how good a Kroxa would actually be. That's something to keep in mind. Take a quick sip from my water here. Well, need our opponent to join. It worked. We won the dice roll, so of course we want to start, and yeah, 3 lands, a bolt, and a nice curve. It's everything you want. Maybe you discard now instead of the Cryptic, and then you top deck the Cryptic on the 4th land, but it's a good hand for sure, so we can go Tar Pit, fetch up a mountain, and bolt or play JVP. Let's see what we face against. Our opponent has taken a mulligan. Could be Valakut, could be Junt. Black Red. Oh, and it's the Dredge match actually. Now Cryptic Sanctuary will probably be the way how we can maybe steal this. We can take up to 12 damage from the free lightning helix from the graveyard. You know what I mean. You will see the cards soon enough anyways. And then they probably try to lock us out with Conflagrate if we have this Cryptic lock going, so we need more land drops to hold up a counterspell. And then we can probably try to beat them in the air with the Flyer. So let's go with the JVP here actually. Maybe loot away the bolt. Try to build to this Cryptic Command Creeping Chill, here it is. So we are at 16 right now. Merchant is actually a nice card for them. It's kind of like Facial Looting Impression. Here comes the first Necromoeba, but no Amalgam in the grave. Lead this Loam. Now they have an Ox going. This is a new one. 4-2. But the escape cost is rather high, to be honest. And here comes the Conflagrate for 0. Okay. Has he dredged the Loam? Oh, I'm not sure. Let's quickly check the game log. Yeah, so he has 1 Loam in hand and 3 unknowns. Now I want another blue source actually to get the Sanctuary going. This is perfect. Then let's play the Delta. Hold up the Stifle effect actually. And we don't have to loot now. We can wait and see what they are doing and decide then. Okay. Haggle, sure. We might pitch the Loam. No, I got Gary Thug and the Loam, okay. So they will now dredge the Imp, actually. So Imp and Loam in hand, 2 unknowns. Still no Amalgams, actually. They can now replay the Ox to use up all their mana. Okay, here comes another Creeping Chill. So 2 more to look out for. And they have the Conflagrate already. Could stifle one of those, of course, but I think we need the Flyer to do something later on. Can still bolt like the Ox. So he either plays the Ox or uses the Conflagrate here. And here comes the Ox. This is fine. I guess we have the Lightning Bolt. Discard your hand, then draw 3 cards. Oh, this is surely annoying. Okay, so here comes the Loam and another Creeping Chill. Let's see, so they found all of their Conflagrates and the Necromoeba. They should turn off my auto heals. So if we take the 6, well, this will be a rough next turn because we have to counter then their Conflagrate. And I need the Bolt right now to deal with the Ox, I guess. Is that true? No, he doesn't have Trample. I feel like I have to stifle the Necromoeba actually. Hope they don't have a land drop for the Bloodgust. It's already kind of rough. Brazzen Burrower. That can deal with the Ox at least, but we go to 5. Yeah, they have to prepare it at least, so they will not be able to do this next turn, I guess. We don't think I need the Grave right now. What we also can do is we can do the block and then cycle play. So let's ship the turn here. This is fine. Let's see, they're probably dredging again. Did they dredge? Thug, so they have Suck and Imp in hand, I guess? The Conflagrate will be lethal at this point. They might want to amp it up. They always need a red to do this. So they should not be able to do it this turn. They are only gathering 3 lands. If they gather the lands now, they can use the Bloodghast. So there might be an argument that we want to use the Cryptic here. Then we don't have it available next turn, and I feel like I have to lock up combat phase anyways. So I guess this is not the worst. I think we have to let this happen, actually. They will get now a Bloodghast. This brings the Amalgams. We should be able to survive this turn, and then we literally have to lock up the combat phase, but are probably dead to these Conflagrates, actually. Yeah, it feels like we are dead anyways. Sure. Yeah. It's kind of not enough we can do here. Because of these damn Conflagrates. Yeah. Yeah, too short. This won't do it. Okay, let's go to sideboarding and hope to draw our Yixley Jailers. Like the Kalitas, actually. Or not you. Yeah, well, Ashiok. Not bad either, I guess. Some graveyard hate, right? Then let's see some cards to bring out. I think Logic Knot is better than Drown, because it's rather hard to counter the Conflagrate on the stack when it has a high X in the cost, I guess. And Bolt can literally kill anything they have. Could be an argument that you want the discard to take their enablers, but I'm not a fan of this. I think we don't need the Lilianas, even though they are nice to deal with Bloodghast and Necromoeba. That's for sure. We want the Jaces to try to find their hate. I don't like the Burrows, maybe. One Liliana is fine, maybe like this. So we have still 3k commands to rebuy the Jigslit Jailers or to shock them. We have some removal to deal with their creatures. The push is better unless they have Prized Amalgam. I guess this will reduce the curve a little bit and then hope to, yeah, stick some of these graveyard hate cards, right? I like the Obstructionist for the occasional Stifle. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, we have a piece of hate. Let's hope they don't have an anti-hate card. We don't have to fetch shock here, actually, which is nice. Keep our life totals high for their Lightning Helix card from the grave. Let's hope here doesn't come a discard. Good. Shriekhorn, sure. So we stick our Jailer here. Comes the long read of the card. They now need like a Dark Blast or some other form of removal in hand, but it dodges Nature's Claim effects, so that's something. Maybe if they have like an Assassin's Trophy. But it would be nice to actually now find a counterspell to protect it. Here comes a Necromoeba, but it doesn't have an ability, so no problem, no problem. Good. So, and the nice thing is this piece of Fate can also attack, so it puts up like a clock, and yeah, if we can untap with the Cryptic to protect it, we should be far ahead. Unless they have an Abrupt Decay, I guess. Steam Vents for the occasional hardcast of the Amalgam, it seems like. They're pitching cards now. Huh. Yeah, I can't counter this, right? So. But their graveyard doesn't do anything right now. That's why I am not a fan of these matchups, because it's more a matchup like, did you draw your sideboard card? If yes, usually you win. If no, then screw you. Yeah, well, some lightning bolts to amp up the clock. We are still not in a hurry here. Now we can protect the jailer from a removal spell. So if we attack for 5 next turn, we actually have lethal. Here comes the Haggler, so... yeah, well, I don't want to fight about this. We can bolt it and play the Obstructionist, I guess. Let's do that. Let's put up a nice clock here. Let's bolt the blocker and then untap with the Cryptic. Wow, and even a Kalitas. Do we play this? No. I think we bolt the Cryptic up to protect the jailer. Should be enough to win, actually. So next turn we have lethal. And we have the Cryptic to protect us from a removal spell. They have a Conflagrate here, hard casted. What's this? Life from the Loam. Yeah, sure. Yep, good. We won the first post-bot game. Now we have to be quicker while we are on the draw. So maybe I want a better counter. Maybe the Drown is actually better than the Terminate, because they fill up their graveyard anyways, and the Drown can also counter their Enabler on turn 2. Is that true? Not really, because we are on the draw. There's only this Flusterstorm to deal with it, so we can maybe try to spike. But it's not that great in other situations, so well. Do we take this out? Do we take this out? If they have a slower start because they are milling for pieces of hate, the Ashiok is also fine. We have the Charm as a hard counter and card advantage. The JVP can actually loot for the hate cards. Yeah, let's try it like this. This Flusterstorm is mainly there to spike their turn 2 Reunion. That's the name. Yeah. I want to risk the discard instead of the Logic Knot. The issue with the discard is that you can't Logic Knot, that you can't efficiently answer an, what's it called, Conflagrate from the graveyard. You could argue that you want to deal with the graveyard anyways, so it's a little bit better than the Logic Knot, but this can also protect your threats once you untap with them, so I think the Logic Knot should be a little bit better. Let's try it. Yeah, well, I mean, you have the Graveyard Hate and the turn 2 counter, so let's hope their start isn't blazing fast and that they take a few mulligans. Yeah, he mulligans to 6 and decides now. The London mulligan gives them a lot of chances to look for a good start, and Dredge doesn't need much to get going, because their whole graveyard is their secondary hand, and the graveyard gets big quickly. Let's see. Actually, we'll lead on this Sanctuary to allow for the draw on turn 2 or the Logic Knot, and to have the Ashiok available in case we don't draw a third land, but not the case. We have drawn the third land anyways, so we can make these 3 islands, and the Sanctuary then can probably put one of these counters back on top. So let's lead with the Delta. Let's see what he's doing. He had a rather slow start. He might have Reunion now, but we can't answer it, unfortunately. So let's hope for the best. Wow, no turn 2 play. This is huge. Definitely huge. Seems like he has an hand of anti-hate, so to say, where he has probably like a removal spell or something in hand. So I hope we can get him with the Ashiok, actually, because it's a Planeswalker, and I hope he doesn't have like an Abrupt Decay or something. Now we have at least a counter in case he has an Enabler here. Drawn is also a piece of removal, of course. Blast Zone is annoying. And here comes the Stinkweed Imp. And I actually think we counter that and snag it away with the Ashiok. I like the line here. So grab a basic here. Counter this for 1. Don't think he has Spirit Guide in hand. Yeah, that was not a bad draw. Don't have a spell we won't actually put on top right now. So let's preserve our life totals. Try to snag his graveyard. That should buy us some time. Go away. Yeah, we fit a Creeping Chill, but that doesn't do anything because of the exile. And we fit 2 Priced Amalgams. Bad. Now let's hope he doesn't have Abrupt Decay. If he needs to pump up the Blast Zone, that takes a long time, actually. Takes at least a few turns out of him. And we will definitely continue to snag his graveyard to reduce the overall threats in his deck. Now, maybe we find some more good hate cards along the way. JVP is not bad, actually. Yeah, I like it. Guess we shock this in. Play the JVP out. Continue snagging his graveyard. Try to hit more amalgams. Lightning Axe. Do we fight over this, or do we try to protect the Ashiok? We have still 2 more turns with the Ashiok. I think we don't care at this point. Because if we draw like a jailer in the next few turns, we can still protect him with a drown. That would be ideal. We'll use the mana now. And he has to reuse it next turn and then even blow up the blast zone, so should give us some time at least. Yeah, nothing. Well, the Delta is not what I actually wanted. Found some more enablers. And the thing is, even if he deals with the Ashiok, he still has nothing going. We have to find more hate. Maybe we should have protected to Jace because he can dig for more 8 cards. Okay. Hmm? Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. Do we want the Logic Knot? I don't think so. Because we have Drown and Snapcaster Drown the next turns, I don't think I want the Logic Knot. Top of my deck at least. Notably that we can counter a Lightning Axe with a Drown, if he has another one. Okay. Yeah, the K command is not bad. That gives at least some insurance. Now we have Drown, Snap, Drown, of course. Okay. Bloodgast, Hardcast. Yeah, sure. Now we have a good target for the K command even. So let's return this and deal 2 to this. Make some use of our mana here. Yeah, this is definitely not bad. I only want to protect this jailer, to be honest. The Jace helps us to find more business, or to reuse the K command even. 7 drop or 5 drop on this deck. Oh no, it's always a 5 drop, right? So yeah, I guess you are fine. Maybe should have countered it because of this, but can also stifle this, I guess. Yeah, then we can loot away this land. Don't care about these cards. He has now 3 in hand. We can cycle away one of these. So 3 lands, 3 unknown. Okay, last zone. The Kalitas is nice. Do we deal with the Ox here and try to force some damage through? Since the Jailer is dying anyways, there is not much use in protecting him right now, I guess. Okay. Well, I like playing the Kalitas out here. Yeah, let's attack. He will buff up his last zone, uses 3 mana to pop it, and then he has only 2 up, so we have a lot of possible removal when the Jailer is down, so yes. Okay. So the Jace didn't do much in the end. I could have maybe opted and try to opt again, but I may want to spike another Drawn in Sorrow here. He has picked up the Loam. Can trigger the Bloodghasts, but we still have the Kalitas. Yeah, well, let's see how this goes. Can use Snapcaster Command and replay the Jailer next turn. He may kill the Kalitas here, actually. There are a lot of cards. Let's try to spike a counter. Cryptic Command. I actually don't hate this at this point, so since we are so healthy. So we let the Kalitas die. Sure. Well, now I guess we don't need the Jailer anymore. Well, this stops him from dredging. And we can tap his team, bounce the Sanctuary, put the Cryptic back later because we have 2 snaps, and try to tempo him out here. Okay. Last Hope is not bad. But I want to snap Cryptic. Do I want this? Let's think about this. If I snap Cryptic, we stall for one more turn and have him at 4. So we don't have time for the Liliana. Well, the Ashiok is not bad either. And the Archmage Charm should also be good, yeah. Don't think I need all of this stuff, actually. So we play the snap and make him tap draw again. Then we have lethal on the board. And we have snap and removal spell in case he plays a blocker. Reunion. Yeah, definitely doing this now. So counter tap. Should lock it up. So he had a Nature's Claim in hand, but was not enough against my hate. I have no ley lines, so yep, and we did it. Good. We have won the post-board games. I think I made a mistake down the line with the drawn in the Loch. I probably should have countered the Loam. Then he can't get back the Blast Zone, and this prevents him from getting back anything out of his grave. Yeah, I should have countered the Loam actually. This made it closer than it should have been. But well. So if we compare the Jace to the Kroxa, I guess it wouldn't have made much difference. I think there was no real window where we could cast the Kroxa from the graveyard. The discard wasn't that necessary either, so the Jace died by the first Jace died through a lightning axe, so yeah, but then he had to use his Conflagrate on the Kalitas, so oh well. It's a complicated matchup sometimes. So Death Shadow, let's see. In this case I may want to lead with a Tar Pit actually. Sure. Can take a snap or an opt. Here goes the opt. Okay. Let's see if he is on the Tarmogoyf list. Yeah, probably because of the green source. Now we can take one of 3 Snapcasters, I guess. Takes the JVP. Here comes the Death Shadow, probably. Yeah, but only for 2 so far. Once upon a time, sure. Ah, damn you. You found the fetch land, as I would have used the Snapcaster as a blocker. Or as an ambush wiper, so we take 5 here. Too bad I can't stifle this now. It is the 5-color list, and here comes a second Death Shadow. Well, this is already awkward. This can only buy 1 turn. We're kind of far behind now. We receive 10 next turn. Guess I have to gamble. Do this end of his turn to have at least a chance to draw like a Terminate or something. He doesn't have a 3rd threat after double discard. Okay. So we go to 5. Let's hope he doesn't have like a stubborn denial. hope he makes a mistake here. No, he doesn't. Well, more Snapcasters won't do it. Let's hope he doesn't have Teemo Battle Rage. Knows about our hand, and I don't think there's a lot we can do. Yep. So triple discard, 2 Death Shadows were too much. Let's see, I don't like the lightning bolts actually. I like the Liliana as a way to get back more Snapcasters. I kind of like the Kalitas to get some value out of our removal. Personally, I don't like the lightning bolts. They may have Liliana of the Veil, but that is not a given nowadays, so I'm not a fan of these logic knots either. I think Nimble is fine on the play. There could be an argument that you want Fulminator Mages because they have a very greedy mana base. But on the play, this could screw them. I think that's better than the Nimble actually. Even though the Stifle is nice for the fetch lands, that's mostly it. I like the Borrower against maybe Gurmag Anglers, if they have it. The discard is still okay in the early turns. I think this should be fine. Maybe you don't want these logic knots and actually want more threats. Or even some bolts to have like snap, bolt, snap. Snap, bolt, snap, yeah. Bolt, snap, bolt. Let's try it like this. Keeps them honest if they go too low. Sometimes you can steal the game. Well, yeah, this should be good. Fatal push, turn to Jace. Can throw the Tarpit in now. If they pick the Jace with the discard, we can still opt next turn. Oop. Okay, they picked the opt. This is a red source, not bad. Let's play the Jace here actually. Might have a fatal push. Or a Tarmogoyf. Or a DK. Or Assassin's Trophy. Or a Collective Brutality, why not? Yikes. Terminate was a fine pickup. Let's see if they have a Liliana of the Veil here. Seems ambitious with this color mana base, and they actually don't have it. Do we put a spell back on top with the Sanctuary? Never mind. I will do it in the upkeep so they can't draw with Veil of Summer if they have it. Drown in the Loch? Sure, okay. Do we put the Fatal Push back on top? I think the answer is yes. Even though I want to find a K command here actually. It would be nice. We don't. Yeah, this is not an island, never mind. So he knows about the Bolt, he doesn't know about the Terminate. What's next? Once Upon a Time. This is a strong card. Swamp, okay. Thoughtseize. Oh, well. Now, I don't want to attack him yet, because he is... The Death Shadows are still in Lightning Bolt range, so I guess we play Draw Go for now. Try to refill our hand. Well, if this draws a Cryptic, that would be awkward, so let's ship it for now. Don't need the 5th land drop right now, and if we have a K command end of turn, that's also fine. Reverse, sure. Might be Death Shadow. No, it's a Catacomb actually. Okay. Yeah, sure, this gives us one more look. Brazzen Burrower. I don't want you right now. Last Hope is not bad. Yeah, this is actually bad. Let's see if there's a Mystical Dispute or something. Another drawn in the Loch here, well. Not a lot you can do against this. Death Shadow is big. Okay. Archmage's Charm, well, this will kill the Death Shadow actually. Can try to lead on the Terminate, and if he answers it, we have still the Archmage Charm. If he doesn't, well, that's also fine. Stubborn Denial. Yes, okay. Now if I let him hit us once, we can try this again in his next upkeep and maybe steal a Death Shadow. Then it's ours. Should be okay. He has used the green source, which indicates no Tarmogoyf here. Okay. Goes to 6, he goes to 3, this goes then to 10. Yeah, well. Let's gamble this. Yep, well, then we are dead. Well, he had all the counters this time. So, not much you can do there. Doesn't matter what you play against this, which is so much discard and counters, it's hard to come by. And he has 5 trophies with this, so seems to be good right now. And this is the Eldrazi player from the last time, I guess. But we are on the draw and this is a slow hand. But the dark I would keep it, I guess. Yeah. Tap land. Oop. All the tapped lands actually. Here comes a Swordknotseer. Oh, well. I buy 1-drops and yeah. Just afterwards you draw another 1-drop. Why wouldn't you? At least no natural Tron. Have to look at the bright side here. Well, and no Archmage Charm this turn, so here comes the Swordknotseer. Karn even, yeah. Screwed by our mana base, I would say. Single fetch land would have been too much to ask. Well. No 4th land whatsoever. Feels awkward to lose against a Chalice with 4K commands in your deck, that's for sure. Liliana. That much of a Bolt fan here, I don't like the Inquisitions. Thoughtseize is also kind of awkward. These are okay, I guess the Nimbles are not really that great. Can stifle like a Thoughtseize, trigger, expedition map, maybe on the play it's okay. They are not that great against a Reality Smasher actually. They can bounce a Chalice, but usually this deck doesn't have that much issues with the Chalice, so you have still the Cryptics. This has at least all the colors we need, even though the Archmage Charm is kind of awkward with the sand. But yeah, I guess. Okay. Can be a Cavern of Souls down the line, of course, so. Temple, we don't care about the Chalice right now. Could take either the Matter Reshaper or the Relic. Seems like the Relic is more obnoxious. Take the Relic here. Oh. Third land. Yes, good. Now we have K Command at least. And Terminate. Hopefully we draw another blue source next turn. This is the cavern. Eldrazi, probably. Yep. And the Thoughtseer, so... guess we let this resolve, and I definitely want to cash in the Terminate now, so it's in our graveyard. Sure. We'll probably take one of these value cards. I mean, yeah, he could gamble and take the snap here. But with the opt, it's likely that we find our 4th land drop. He takes the Cryptic. The Watery Grave. Last hope. It's no good spot here. Found the blue source. We can't counter the Eldrazi's, but I have Snap Terminate for the next seer, actually. He will probably take the Archmage's Charm. Chalice for 2, I don't think we care. This is fine. Discard Shatter. Another Chalice, okay. Okay, now we have Snapcaster Command. Yeah, well, we had it. Here comes the Meta Reshaper. Okay. Do I try to bait this now so we can use the Logic Knot against the Karn or what have you? Yeah. Yeah, he should actually wait before he does this so that we crack our fetch land. Because now our Logic Knot is a little bit better. Should have used the Archmage's Charm actually. Unsure if this was actually the Thoughtseize we know about. I will block here to fill the graveyard for the Knot. Last zone, okay. Here comes the Thoughtseize. Oh. Let's try to spike a rule. Yeah, I should have used it. Well, if I use it end of last turn, we could have played the Jace. It would have been better. This doesn't matter right now, I guess. This is not the removal we wanted. Now we are under a lot of pressure. This Cavern of Soul wrecks us this game. It's really bad. Yeah. Way too late, Fulminator. Well, can't win against Cavern of Souls, apparently. Yeah, again on the draw, but... So far these tar pits are a little bit underwhelming because they are coming into play tapped, and this screws us up a lot of times. They didn't have much impact so far. Search for tomorrow. So a Valakut deck. I fetch black-red now, we have at least all the mana we need. At least rewarded, because afterwards the card is dead. Yeah. He has 4 land drops next turn. Want this Cryptic available as soon as possible, so ship this in here. Though it's not exciting right now. Fourth land drop. Okay. At least we have one more turn here. So he has a Forest Titan and 1 unknown in hand. He has only 5 land drops next turn. It's an argument to play the Liliana actually. But I want to opt here. Oh. This is not bad down the line. Because he will be hellbent pretty soon, and then I hope we can put up some Command chains. We want the blue. Yeah. We need the 5th land drop soon. Let's try to hit the land drop. Don't need you. Good. Let's see if he has another Titan. The forest doesn't matter. I think he should have kept it actually. I like the snapped opt here. Because if he kills a snap, we have the K command, so let's use it like this. Now we have snap cryptic up. We have to be careful he doesn't double spell like in like 2 scape shifts, so 3 cards in hand. Please put a Titan on this deck. Well, Field of the Dead is already kind of awkward. I can deal with the zombie for now. Search for tomorrow. This only puts another zombie and a mountain into play. So I think that is still fine. Okay. can discard again. We can also trade here and pick up the Snapcaster. Terminate, we make him discard. We have the mana for this. This way we keep our clock actually. Do I need this? I'm a little bit greedy now. This is better. This is fine. Right. Yes. Can do this 2 more times. I think we can risk 1 top deck. Then we can also do this next turn when the Jace is flipped. Yeah, I think I do it 1 more time. Because if he has a mountain, he gets a zombie and a free bolt, so this is surely annoying. Yeah, and he concedes. Okay, he sees it. We can then flip the Jace, use the Cryptic to bounce a Snap, and yeah, let's see. Or still have the Archmage Charm then. Okay. Anyways, 4 cards to come in. Now these decks usually run like Obstinate Baloth and stuff. And usually one Tireless Tracker. Not a fan of the Bolt for this reason. We have still some cards to deal with this. And Kalithas can be nice because it's a 4 toughness creature, so it doesn't die as easily against the Valakuts. But that's all. The fan of the Borrower actually. Maybe 1 is okay as a bad Vendilion click. I prefer the Dispel actually. Let's try it like this. Force him into top deck mode again. This is for Veil of Summer and maybe Pacts. Yes. And Liliana can rebuy Fulminators, so that's a main use. If we find a good Fulminator spot, maybe if he stumbles a little bit, we can maybe try to use a chain here of several Fulminators to stop their Valakuts and Field of the Dead if we force them somehow into top deck mode. Well, it has a Ashiok and the Opt. We are on the draw. If we find 2 lands, or even the second land with a Jace, it could be fine. It's a greedy hand, but let's gamble this here. Because I like the contents of this hand. You want the Cryptics. You have these 2 to stop triggers, or they're searching, so... Yeah, this definitely worked out. Yeah, we have to take some damage here from our lands. It's like... Can't stop the search for tomorrow here, unfortunately, because we are on the draw. And a second search for tomorrow. Well, definitely want the land. Yeah, well, let's hope for the best. We need to counter for the Titan then. Maybe the Ashiok can snag this one, actually. There goes the Valakut, and he doesn't have a follow-up. Don't need the Sanctuary right now. Even though it's the 4th land drop here, never mind, I actually want it. I think the Stifle Bird has to go here. Because we can pick it up with the K command anyways, so... Yeah, let's hope this works out. And he doesn't have a Fry here. So this should stop the search for tomorrow then. This should prevent a Titan next turn, unless this dies, but in this case we can't do much against a Titan anyways, so... Whatever, I guess. And if he had the answer, he should have done it at my end of turn, because we could have Force of Negation, right? So... Yep. Field of the Dead. Scary. And we even found the fetch land, so we can use the Sanctuary later to put a Cryptic back on top. But I don't want to loot right now, I guess. Can flip the Jace, but what will it do for us? Don't have a good sorcery right now. I guess we can use the Op next turn. So if he doesn't do anything, we can pick up the Nimble, make him discard. So right now I like our hand actually. Because of the Sanctuary we can cycle these Cryptics a lot, and I feel like if I play a Fulminator now here, he has a Veil of Summer, we get blown out a lot, so let's don't use anything for now. And hold up the Cryptic. Still need some lands to get this online, and this too, so... And yes, he needs to deal with the Ashiok actually. Okay, 6 mana. Nothing. We could try to bounce something. But I actually like the K command here. Let's see if he has a Veil of Summer. Because then he uses it now and he can't use it against the Cryptics next turn. Okay, he lets the Seppens, but he was thinking about this a lot, so I expect a Veil of Summer. Don't need the second one here. Now, do we want the K command back on top? Maybe. I think the answer is yes. Okay. Yeah, and here comes the Fry. Can't do anything against this, of course. Now let's see. He has a Titan. 2 unknown cards. If he has like a Titan and a Veil of Summer, he gets us. But it's not like if I stifle this trigger that it solves the situation here, so I feel like I have to attempt this. And then, yeah, he had the exact cards to this game, so nothing you can do then. Okay. Hello Summer is so obnoxious. Now we are on the play and the land destruction should be a little bit better, so let's try it again. If he didn't have the Fry, it wouldn't be the end of the world then, because we can bounce it and he doesn't get the triggers of the Titan, so we can at least stall some time. But even if we stifle the trigger in this situation, he always has the Veil of Summer, so not much you can do there. This is a horrible hand because of mana reasons. This is somewhat better. I think we ship the 4th land. We have the Archmage's Charm to draw some cards, I guess. We can lead an Inquisition and see what's up. Yeah, screw you, Veil of Summer. Don't care about the relic right now. Could gamble in taking his Tribe Elder and actually make his hand awkward, but they have so much lands in their deck, it's unlikely that you screw them. And if you find a Fulminator now, this would be really great. Have to deal with the relic down the line. Yep. I'll lead on the fetch land, so we can keep the opts. Steam vents, please. Oh, let's see. Yep, you can have the fetch land. Logic not. This is awkward right now. Blood Crypt is not that bad. And the JVP. Let's use our opt here. Get some value out of the Snapcaster. Yeah, why not? So we have the answers for the Titans now. Jace is still kind of fine. He needs the land drops. He might even cycle the relic now. Three unknown. Fully not another Veil of Summer. Bella could, sure. So he's still a little bit off. Do we have to hold up Archmage's Charm? I actually don't hate that. Don't have to cycle right now. If he puts like a Tireless Tracker on the stack, I still like the Archmage's Charm here. Six mana, yeah, it was definitely the right call. Did you draw another Veil of Summer? This is the question now again. If yes, we lose. No, it looks good, right? Well, that was fine. Okay. Our slow 2-1 beats here. Explore. Yeah, can't find about this. So after the 6th land drop, I think I will cycle the next lands. Yeah, well. Can try to find a removal spell, but this buffs up his life total a lot. It's awkward, but I feel like we have to counter this here. Yep. Now we can put it back on top and redraw it with the Jace actually. And we found the Dispel. This is very reassuring. But then we have to pitch the Obstructionist. So I guess we can wait what he does. Don't have to loot right now. He only acts in sorcery speed, so we have some time. It's nice how we are playing around this relic so far. 2 more cards. Arseek. 1, 2, 3. Only 3 mountains. But it's an how do you call it? Field of the Dead. But I can't counter it in case he has escape shift, so I guess we let that happen. No, he can't get the Field of the Dead. This only grabs yeah, mountains, plains, and what have you. Now I don't have to loot. I actually like the Obstructionist here. We have all the stuff we need actually. Definitely want these 4 manas to keep Dispel Archmage's Charm up. In case he has a Veil of Summer. Yeah, he doesn't get anywhere. Now he has only 1 card. If he cycles this, I will stifle it. If he doesn't use the relic here, could flash this in, but doesn't feel good right now. There's nothing I really want to loot here. Guess we can take a chance anyways. Yeah. Let's try to get more business. There's no reason to flash this in now, right? Well, it puts him to 2. But we don't... Yeah, if we draw K command, then it's actually lethal, so that's the reason, I guess. This Logic Knot is not good. We can loot it away, so let's put him to 2. And now he has to use this. He needs business, right? Can't sit on this relic. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, let's hope he doesn't have 3 business cards here. We can catch a Veil of Summer, of course. Okay, if he has Titan into Scape Shift, we are not dead because we can use the Logic Knot still. He has to do something, else he's dead. These are the only options he has. Valakut is not online. Field of Ruin won't save him. Field of the Dead, I mean. An Obstinate Bellows we can counter. We probably will counter. So 6 mana plus 4, it's 10. Yeah, this is a third Titan, and he knows about the Archmage Charm. Unfortunately, we can't Logic Knot and do this in one turn, but hopefully it's fine. Yeah, that's why I had a Dispel in the deck. Nice, it came up, and we won. So, 2-2. Let's hope to get the last match. After winning the hard big mana matchups and losing to the more grindy stuff actually here. Yeah, Cavern of Souls is definitely a pitfall in these Eldrazi matchups. We have won against the big mana decks even without Fulminator Mage. Maybe you want more Alpine Moons actually, because they are better against the Eldrazi Tron. Could be the case. Give me a good hand. Well, it has all the mana. We are on the draw. It's not a blazing fast matchup. We should be fine with bounce to buy some tempo. It's hard to mull this. Flooded Strand. This is usually a slower matchup. Yeah, it's a blue-white control deck, it seems like. So let's hold up Logic Knot in case he has a Teferi here. He's the Time Reveler. Hopefully we can stifle his Field of Ruin at one point in the game. That would be nice. Need to fetch here. Drawn in the Loch, why not? Shook this in. Take our fair damage here. Terminate is unfortunately really bad. Hopefully we can loot it away sometimes later. Or this would be such a nice stifle position. Well, now our drawn gets a little bit better. He already has 3 Field of Ruins. Don't need this right now. Yeah. All these Snapcaster Mages are awkward if we don't have good spells to flash back here. Maybe we actually want to shock this in to have Logic Knot and drawn up. I feel... yeah. Should have kept both cards up. Okay. In this case, yeah, we will probably K-command it. Wow, okay. Well, then we can bounce it back, I guess. Wow. Sure. Oh, please don't draw a Jace or something. Please don't draw a Jace. Oh. Okay. Oh. Does here come another one? Of course. Well, then I guess nothing changes really. Please don't draw Jace, I guess. Okay. I guess it's not that good if the Jace lives, right? So I guess the answer is no. Well, at least the Snap can pressure the Jace unless he draws a removal spell. Let's hope he draws a land, exactly. Okay. So we have one more turn, or we draw a bolt. Well, the Cryptic is not bad. I actually like bouncing it here and drawing a card. Yes. Can't pay a spell pierce, so we use the mana stuff efficiently. Did you draw a counterspell? If yes, it's still not the end of the world, and he concedes. Okay. One against the Teferis. K-command was not bad there. And I actually like Liliana here. They don't run a lot Celestial Colonnades anymore, so the Fulminator is not needed. Don't like the Terminates. Yeah, I like stuff and maybe even the Brutalities to nap his counterspells, kind of. I like the discard. I kind of like the bolts, but maybe don't need 4. Maybe like this. I like the JVPs actually. They don't have that much answers to a turn 2 JVP. Well, they have the Fairy Bounce now, but I guess it's still fine. I like the Borrower to deal with Planeswalkers and put some pressure onto the battlefield. Liliana is a nice secondary win condition, but maybe you don't want 2 on the draw. It's nice that she can rebuy a Snapcaster Mage or what have you, but she is a grindy card, that's for sure, but I kind of want these bowls, I want the discard, I want all the counters, the opts are great to hit land drops and to make more use out of Snapcaster Mage. Yeah, I guess we have to use the Cryptics. Let's try this. On the play we might want Liliana because they have a harder time answering her on the draw. Not a fan of Kalitas. Because he's bad against the Time Raveler. Yeah, this is a good hand, I guess. The Bolt is not the greatest, but we have a counter spell and yeah, some value cards here. Might use the Nimble to stifle his plays. Another Stifle Bird. We have to hit a second blue source against the turn 3 Teferi, I guess. They also sometimes bring in Mentor, so Bolt has some value still. And it's a win condition with Snapcaster Mage, of course. Okay. There is a Colonnade. They have found their one-off, I guess. Let's try to hit the blue source. Yes, and we did it. It's important to resemble a counterspell here. I would even shock this in if I don't have anything. It's so important. Well, and if nothing else happens, we can cycle the Obstructionist, I guess. Castle is also annoying, so I maybe want the Fulminator Mages, actually. He might have a Mystical Dispute, which is awkward. Actually, yeah, if we stifle the ability, then we can't draw a card with the Obstructionist. That is also worse, so might as well do this now. Yeah, there's a dispute. Sure. So I can't do this in my turn now. Okay. Yep, and we find the land drop. Not bad so far. We may even flash this in end of turn and see if he counters this or not. Field of Ruin, okay. Are we doing something here? Don't think so. Nah. Don't want to play into Cryptic here. Just make our land drops. Now we can stifle this Field of Ruin actually. Set him behind the land drop and still have drawn in the lockup. Okay. Nothing. Well, then let's try to nap his Force of Negation. Dovin's Veto. Yeah, well, sure. Rest in peace. Well, this makes Drown awkward anyways, but he could play it Fairy. Then he bounces, then we have the K command, but he can then use the Force of Negation. I mean, he could still... We can also stifle the trigger, actually. Never mind. Let's do this. If he has a Teferi, okay, well... Stifle shuffling some rest in peace triggers. Who would have thought that? Yup. So he bounces. We try to kill it. He will force off negate and we will drown the force. So we should be then far ahead, actually. Return target creature. Or actually make him discard. I don't care about the Nimble right now. If he forces this now and we can blow this out, this would be so huge. Wow. Sure, you have a spell snare. Ah, damn it, we can't do this. Yeah. It was dumb. Let's play the Jace out then. Can't do that against the Teferi, of course. I mean, we have the Bolt in the grave, right? So unless he has another counterspell here, we have a chance. We have still 5 in the graveyard, so Jace can flip. Wow. Okay. Okay, how do we do this? I guess I want the bolt here. Let's target the lightning bolt. Let's blitz this guy. Great. Well, now I can even... If he doesn't have a Dispel, it doesn't matter anymore. Discard and 2 to you. Yes. What was it? A Snapcaster, so it was definitely a good choice. Now we have Drown and Snap in hand and the Jace on the battlefield, so he needs to do something. Yeah, don't counter the op at the next play he will use. Detention Sphere. Well, I want my Jace. That's for sure. It's actually a win condition. 2-4, yes, we can even play Liliana out. We have to be careful about his colonnades. Maybe I should have let him take on the Jace here. Yeah, now we can activate colonnade. This is awkward. Ah, this was bad. I should have seen this. Don't care about the Jace, but now it dies. He kills the Liliana first, I guess. So we need another drown now. Why do I draw Snapcaster now? Fuck you. Give me a Cryptic or something. Not like I have drawn a lot of stuff in this game. Now he comes back into this because of his damn rest in peace. This was such a mistake. Why don't I think about this for a hot second? This one damn colonnade one-off is wrecking us right now because I made this mistake in pitching the drone in the Loch. He draws another opt mine, come on. Where are my opts? Draws exactly the 6th land and no other land behind it. Drawn 2 extra lands and these Snapcasters are not great right now. Like a Cryptic or something to stall. Yeah, okay. What a set game so far. Now, if we bounce the Rest in Peace, this gives us time next turn too, because we can use the Snapcaster then. And I think we can safely go to 1 here. It's not like we need more lands. So this enables our Snapcasters. Yeah. He has 5 cards again, and now he starts continuing his land drops. He only has 2 white sources, so... Oh, screw you. Now we need another Cryptic. And we have to hope he doesn't have anything else, literally. You make one mistake and lose the whole match. This feels so bad. Damn colonnade stuff. Rest in peace, huh? We had quite some utility lands that I want to snack here. She's still a win condition. Maybe like this? Yeah. Usually they only have one colonnade, even though it felt bad in this game. I don't feel like I want Fulminator here. Just to blow up a land drop with them. Maybe one. Let's try it like this. Okay. Already down 2 cards, feels bad. Oh, then we have a good hand. So we take the Narset and then we play Snap Inquisition next turn. Try to hit something good. Let's take their good cards. They stumble a little bit. It's not bad down the line. Let's so now. The Teferi is the issue right now. Don't have a good counter. This fuels the drawn in the Loch, so that's also not bad. That keeps him off Cryptic Mana and stuff. He has to deal with the Liliana at one point. Not sure. Okay. He has found his 5th mana source, I guess. Mystical Dispute. What else would the mystery card be? Man, I can puke right now. Even if I stifle this, he plays the damn Jace, so... This feels so fucking bad. Wow, okay. To do this now. Let's hope he doesn't Teferi us. Flusterstorm is not the worst, actually. Nothing. Does he want to use the Cryptic here? It's kind of awkward. He knows about the Flusterstorm, so... Okay. So we bring her to 7, stifle the Teferi trigger, and win. That's awkward. Or draw a Cryptic and counter the Teferi, why not? Well, Liliana paid off in the end, I guess. Maybe he has another Detention Sphere. He has a Jace in hand, maybe another Mystical Dispute or what have you. Yup. Okay. There was a lot of swearing in this last matchup, but maybe because it was a tight game and literally every top deck decides this, and I guess I have made the big blunder in the second game of wasting the Drown on the Detention Sphere. It would haven't mattered if he exiled the Jace in this spot, because there was a rest in peace in game anyways, and it's not like I wanted to use the Inquisition anytime soon, and then we can kill the Colonnade and probably run away with the game with Liliana. But I think in the third game he made the blunder of playing the Cryptic into my Flusterstorm. He didn't know about my Obstructionist, yes, but I think he should have risked it anyways and played the Teferi out. Yeah, not sure. I guess I would still have stifled his minus then and play out the 3-1 in the next turn, but in this case he still has a Teferi in game and can at least draw some cards, so he might find an answer to the Liliana this way. Yeah, so we have won against Red, we have won against the big mana deck. So I actually like this configuration. The Dispel came in handy. Well, if the Flusterstorm would have been another Dispel, it wouldn't have mattered in the blue-white matchup, but yeah. We have lost against Eldrazi because I couldn't find a damn Kolaghan's command in the first game, and lost to a Chalice on one where we had several Opts and Inquisition in hand, and all of our lands came tapped, so we couldn't even Archmage's Charm something. That was definitely horrible. So personally I think one Mystic Sanctuary is plenty. There's a huge cost in having tapped lands in Modern, and we never activated Tar Pit in any of these games whatsoever. That's something noteworthy. And I guess the Death Shadow deck, yeah, well, if they run hot and go discard, 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 Death Shadow, and even have some counters in hand, I think there is nearly no deck that can do anything. Only blue-white that top decks like a Supreme Verdict that they actually can't counter. And even then you are not out of the woods, because the Drawn in the Loch will counter whatever you have, so I guess you have to bring in Rest in Peace to stop the shenanigans. But with Once Upon a Time and the other Search Tutor spell, they have a lot of ways to actually find more threats, so it's really hard. I guess the Fairy Time Raveler is a huge nuisance for them, because he stops all of these counter shenanigans, and then you can deal with the Death Shadow with whatever you find on top of your deck. So I guess that would be still a reason to play blue-white, but yeah, I mean, personally I think against the ramp decks that Ashiok is the best card you can run. We never really drew the Fulminator Mage, and even if you do, he's really awkward against Whale of Summer, so personally I would say play a third Ashiok right now, because this was also nice, kind of nice in the Dredge matchup, where they kept a rather slower counter hand, right, with Nature's Claim stuff and the Lightning Axe to answer the Jixlick Jailer. I think in this Veil of Summer meta, or at least where the decks that you want the Ashiok against primarily, which would be the Titan decks, they run Veil of Summer, so the Fulminator Mage doesn't seem great to me. I think I want more Ashioks, a third one, and then maybe even my Alpine Moon back. Yes, the Fulminator would have been okay against Eldrazi to blow up this Cavern of Souls. But if we blow up the Cavern of Souls for 3 mana, they already got their Thought Knots here, right? Because they only play it out when they want to make their first Eldrazi drop, and then, yeah, you have literally done nothing besides attacking one land of them. They play the next Eldrazi, and you are already so far behind that the ability to counter something then, after they have put 2 big Eldrazi's into play, is literally worth nothing. So I think playing out proactively an Alpine Moon, which I should be able to find now, seems far better. Yes, it runs into Chalice of 1, but that's not something you can prevent. And Alpine Moon is also great against the Valakut Field of Field of the Dead decks, because Alpine Moon can shut those down too. Maybe it's even correct to run 2 Moons and 2 Ashioks, but I think that Ashiok is really good right now. They have to run stuff like Fry to stop it. And since this version of the deck doesn't run Sword Scour, there is no real issue in milling this card over, so I think that is fine. There were not that much situations where I wanted the second last hope, actually. I think the one-off was fine, so this is more like a flex slot. I think the grand potential was enough. Yes, we don't run as much Planeswalkers as Blue-White Control, but the upside to that is that you can run more instants. Again, I really like these flyers. They have such nice situations, even though I threw the second way against Blue-White away. Being able to stifle that Rest in Peace trigger was so huge, actually. If I don't misplay the drawn, I am confident that we win this. Yeah, even countering this Teferi minus against the Liliana on 7 loyalty, which would have been such a great play, and they can't do anything against this. It's an uncounterable stifle that draws you a card back. Kind of like Veil of Summer, even if it's more pricey. If this would be for only 1 blue, like the Veil of Summer, I guess they would have been. This would have been even crazier, because you have even a 3/1 body if the stifle isn't good. Yeah, and the Borrower, there is always something you can bounce at least, so it will buy you some time. And even if it's not great, again, it's at least a creature that needs an answer, so or can block, at least a flyer. And then it's fine to board out, but I like those as a clock. The Jace was not bad. It helped to cycle away some bad cards, some bad lands, and was a fine threat. But the minus ability was not that great, since the deck uses so much instants. It had some good spots, and it was kind of nice with the Mystic Sanctuary against the Titan Shift player, where we put like a counter back on top, and then you can always cycle if you play something, and if not, well, then you draw it next turn anyways. And it really helps to improve the quality of your hand. But I think like the cycle effect is stronger than the actually backside, as crazy as that sounds. So I like it against. Yeah, I'm not sure. I was always thinking, okay, Blue-White doesn't have a good answer to this. But if they play it a Fairy Time Raveler when you are on the draw, then the turn to Jace is even awkward, so you don't want to play it there. Then the answer would be to play it later on, but which is still fine, because it's a rather slow matchup. But I'm now thinking, okay, which other matchups does he really excel? Yeah, and it's a hard answer, because I only run these 3 discard spells and these opts or these 12 cheap spells in general, so it activates their removal without doing much. You could answer that Brazzen Burrower does the same, and I'm not even sure what else you want to run in this slot, because you need something at least to win the game. We never activated Tar Pit. I mean, we played mostly fast games. Yeah, I'm unsure if there is another good card you could run in Grixis colors. all in all, the mana base felt smoother, in my opinion. We had far less issues in casting all this blue stuff. If we had the lands, the only nuisance was that we had 4 come into play tapped lands, and I will definitely cut this and maybe include back my Drowned Catacombs for it. This. It's not like we mill this over now, so you always have this one Sanctuary as an out against stuff like Bogles, where you only have to get to 2 Cryptics, then you can tap the team, draw a card, play the Sanctuary, put it on top, tap that team again, bounce the Sanctuary, and rinse and repeat. So we only need this one Sanctuary then, and yeah, this should help a little bit more in getting this turn 2 Brutality, maybe against Burn or something like that. I'm not sure, could also be something else. I'm also not sure about these 2 tar pits. Maybe you even only want 1 tar pit, and then you can maybe even include this Castle Ventress. I'm not sure if this is not too slow, but the Scry will definitely improve the quality of your next draws, but it's also very slow, but at least it comes into play untapped when you control an island, so the same as Drowned Catacombs, and it should be easy reachable in this deck because you need an island anyways for these 6 cards. I still like the K commands. We have locked the Titan Shift player out in game 1 with it. It was great against the blue-white player, against the Planeswalkers. It's great against the Chalice of Void. I think it's still the main reason to run Grixis. I like it a lot in this meta. And actually, I like the Archmage charms too. They were really nice. They didn't work out against the Shadow player, but if he has not the 5th counter spell in his deck, I think it was the 5th, then we can steal the Death Shadow and have a good blocker against his next play, and it's then like 2 for 1 mostly. And if it's not good, well, you can always cycle it, and it's 1 or less, so you could also snag maybe something like an Ether Vial or what have you against decks that run it, or maybe like a Champion of the Parish, an Infect creature. So it's kind of like Drawn in the Loch sometimes, where it's a counter spell or a good removal spell, and sometimes you want to get their creature actually to have pressure. But besides that, I guess the second Liliana would be great if we actually face Noble Hierarch decks, but I'm wondering why there are no people trying out this new Heliod combo with Walking Ballista. This would be a Noble Hierarch deck, or this this Yawgmoth deck with the Undying creatures, kind of. Could be some matchups where Liliana could be nice. If the game goes longer and you can pick up a Snapcaster, which with her, that's also great. But she becomes, all in all, she becomes a little bit weaker now if we don't run Fulminator, because we can't repeatedly use land destruction between her and K commands. But that's even unlikely in those matchups. Again, one Whale of Summer wrecks your whole plan there. It throws you so far behind. There are not a lot of situations where you are allowed to tap out for 3 against these Titan decks, because you need a counter in this turn, because else with this new castle here, they play the Titan definitely on turn 4, or sometimes even turn 3, depending on their Rem starts. So this is so huge that I think you don't have the time to fumble around with Fulminators anymore. This would also be a reason why I probably want another Alpine Moon here. Maybe indeed going 2-2 on the split. I think that would be nice. And besides the really aggressive matchups, I'm not a fan of Brutality right now. This could be something else entirely. I like the 3 Jixlit Jailers. Of course, we found at least one in our both postboard games, but in the last one against Dredge, we found it rather late, and the Ashiok was the star of the early game, until we found this card actually, so yeah, it's up to taste. Either this configuration or a second Alpine Moon here, and you rely on these 5 hate cards, so to say, against Dredge, and hope that they overboard a little postboard, fumble around, don't have a blazing fast start, and yeah, you can maybe untap, counter their removal spells, protect this jailer, what have you. Yeah, now the next thing I want to try out actually is a Sultai version that kind of plays the same way, but we then forgo K-Command for like Pulse of Murasa. This also allows you to rebuy maybe some value lands down the line if they are destroyed. They also can rebuy Snapcaster, and you can gain 6 life against stuff like Burn. That should be great. Sultai allows you, of course, also to run down in the Loch. You gain Assassin's Trophy or Abrupt Decay in this slot. This also answers Chalice of the Void, so this is also covered with that. And it's of course also good against stuff like Teferi or what have you. I still have to think about what you lose with these cards overall. But if we mix up these red cards with some of the green stuff, the upside would be, okay, yeah, we also lose the Alpine Moon then, but the upside would be that we can run a Veil of Summer, and I want to try out the blue-green Titan actually from the new set. I want to see how it plays out, because it's another nice 3-mana play that draws you a card and gives you 3 life, I think. And you can play an extra land, so this can put you ahead of curve, which is nice. And yeah, you then need again the blue green cost to cast it out of your graveyard. But in this case, you have the life gain to actually smooth out this mana cost that, or the life gain, the life loss cost that your mana base puts onto you. The issue that we had last time with the Kroxa deck. And then it could also allow to play maybe like a Tarmogoyf in the deck, which could function as a good clock against the Titan decks, or Tron. It could be a good blocker against Eldrazi Tron. You can also play this weird tempo game where you sometimes tap down the team and attack with Tarmogoyf a few times, right? You can, of course, still run these birds if you wish to. But yeah, this will probably go into the Titan slot here, at least some of them, or some of these. And then we have to see, can I show the card to you, because I can't remember the name right now. It's from the latest set, Terrors Beyond Death, and somehow you can't select this damn set. Don't ask me why again. Seems so awkward. What's up with you, MTGO? Now it's possible. Like this. And then we have to use green please and blue please, not red. Yeah, where are you? Where are you? Multicolor. Can't you choose multicolor? No, you can't. Well, the type is a creature, I guess. Yeah, it's a creature, it's a giant. This is not it. And how many creatures do you have? Here it is. Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, you gain 3 life and draw a card. And you can put a land onto the play, so there should be a lot of value in the matchups. And maybe, just maybe, I find a way to put some Harkum's Astrolabe in the deck. And then we could also run maybe like Icefang Kotal. Could be also good. But I have to work on this. I only have a template from this Sam Black deck that was played before Oko breakout. It looked kind of nice, but it only played for Snapcaster and one Torrential Gearhulk, and that was it. And I want to try out this Uro, so that's something to look out for. Maybe I will find a list, but if you want to play Grixis still, I recommend only 3 come into play tapped lands tops. Yeah, the Sanctuary can come into play untapped later on, but it's really awkward in the starting hands, like we had all of these 3 in our opener. And I don't like Fulminator right now. I want some mix of these cards, and the rest was fine. It was a lot of fun. I think this version is a little bit smoother due to the mana. You are more inclined to just fetch blue lands out and have then all the blue spells. The rest is only secondary, and then you are mostly set. So I hope you enjoyed it. That was enough of me rambling around. And hopefully see you next time. Have a great day, and bye bye.